Let's do this. First up is going to be QXC versus TriMaster. Alright. That is too loud. Let's lower that a little bit. Okay. One of my hands is dedicated to holding up my microphone, so it's going to be tricky switching scenes. Let's go ahead and do that though. Perfect. Let's add my camera in here too, just for fun. Just for fun. So y'all can see when my microphone decides to topple over and kill itself. Alright, here we are. Are we live on Team Liquid? I'm going to look at the chat and verify. I hope we are. I'll keep my eye on the chat over there. But here we go, guys. Welcome. Again, if any... This is like my first time streaming with this setup, kind of. So if an audio level is too loud, if an audio level is too soft, feel free to please let me know. If I'm on the wrong scene, I'm looking at the chat. You can just tell me in the chat, Axeltoss, you're screwing up, man. Fix it up. But here we are, guys. This is going to be game one of a best of 5. This is a semifinal match. It's a qualifier match. There's 4 players left in the qualifiers, so technically it's a semifinal, but the winner of this match will qualify for the live finals, which will be in New York City at Comic-Con on October 14th. In the bottom right-hand location, we have blue tier and player Complexity TriMaster as opponent in the top right. It is QXC. Both these guys from Team Complexity. On the other side of the bracket, we have Og and Kawaii Light. So it's a little bit unfortunate for these guys that they have to snipe each other out. They're probably in the Complexity house right now. But yeah, I mean, TriMaster, let's talk about his story really quick. This guy, it seems like every qualifier I cast, this guy is in the finals. And unfortunately, every qualifier I cast, which he's in the finals, like one win away from qualifying for something, he always ends up losing, which is very unfortunate for him. We'll have to see if we can change it around. My computer wants me to finish installing important updates, restarting in 14 minutes. Perfect. Fantastic. Well, my mic just fell over. Okay, this is going to be challenging. Of course, in the top right, his opponent, it is going to be Complexity's QXC. QXC is actually a participant in the MLG versus Pro League Invitational, and he's had some solid results. I was looking through some replays from that event, of course, of the games we did not end up casting during the broadcast, and he showed some impressive results, notably against, like, I think, Roro and Hero. I want to say he played like 2 50-minute games. It was actually a little bit ridiculous. So QXC has definitely been playing a lot better lately, in my opinion. Of course, he's been at the Complexity house. So, you know, hopefully that's helping his training regimen and helping him out in the game of StarCraft 2, helping him stay focused and helping him optimize his play and whatnot. Again, guys, I'm looking at the chat here. So please let me know if my mic or anything is too loud or too soft. I'm relying on you guys. But yeah, this is going to be game number 1. This is a best of 5. The winner of this best of 5 will advance to New York City Comic-Con to participate in the WCG USA Finals. It's going to be a live event. 8 players, I want to say. Don't quote me on that, though. TriMaster doing a gentle push here. I don't expect this to do much at all. Coming forward with 3 Marines and an SCV. Trying to target fire on the SCV. Building the bunker is successful in that regard. Now it's 3 Marines versus 3 Marines. 2 Marines versus 2 Marines. 1 Marine versus 1 Marine. Are they going to kill each other in Matrix fashion? No, they aren't. TriMaster just going to dip and dodge and check on the status of this expansion. Sees that orbital command is complete. And there is no returning home for this Marine. And he will die. TriMaster sending in a Hellion, though, trying to protect that Marine, but I think this Hellion might be doomed as well. QXC going to micro his Marines, want to micro that weaken one away. That one does end up dying. And TriMaster doing a decent amount of damage here, but it's important to consider QXC, he's economic right now. You know, this is like anything that doesn't kill him right now, he's okay with. As long as he keeps this expansion up, keeps a good number of SCVs alive, because TriMaster is investing a lot into one base, and QXC just scouted that out. Saw Banshee, Cloak Banshee, I should say, in production. Let's see if TriMaster cancels that. I've seen crazier things happen, so I wouldn't be surprised if we did that. Sound seems pretty good. Unit sounds can be heard, but you are louder than them, and the music is vaguely noticeable in the background. I don't really know what that means. Hopefully it's okay. Of course, I'm reading my chat. Yeah, so TriMaster investing a lot into one base, adding on that expansion, and he's still going to finish up Cloak here, even though QXC scouted it. QXC, meanwhile, where does he go? Oops, camera folly there, excuse me. Looks like he's building a Viking out of that starport. We got a tank on the way. We got some Marines coming out of a reactor barracks. So it looks like he's just going to be focusing on a Marine tank composition at this point. Siege mode is not yet started. Meanwhile, TriMaster has started siege mode of his own. Reactor on the way for him. Very similar styles from both these two players, except the main deviation, of course, being the Cloaked Banshee play from TriMaster. That Banshee, of course, is going into the main base of QXC, but he's going to get taken out. Did he cancel? He must have canceled Cloak. Because why would you only build one Banshee? And of course he didn't Cloak it there. I gotta tell my laptop to postpone the Windows update so that the chat doesn't leave me. So give me 3 seconds. Perfect. Alright, so who's ahead? Let's look at the income tab. 33 to 29 in favor of QXC. Production tab. Lots of cool stuff going on there. Units, 9 Marines to 4 in favor of QXC. No real significant differences here. I mean, QXC does have that supply lead, 58 to 49. An engagement might happen here. QXC landing one of his Vikings to try to deal with this Hellion. And this is a nice little attack path over here along the right side of the map. You can siege on the low ground here and then kind of leapfrog your way up to the high ground. But TriMaster siege mode is already done, and I don't think, or I should say, yeah. And QXC's, did his just finish? Yeah, his just finished. But TriMaster taking control of that high ground. 2 Vikings versus 2 Vikings. I think TriMaster got that first shot off. So QXC going to back away for now. Realized his opponent was investing a lot into that one base stuff. And QXC kind of had a timing where he could kind of capitalize on his superior economy, but it's hard to do in TVT, especially when your opponent sieges up on the high ground of the natural expansion. How can you really engage this optimally? You can't. So QXC going to back away for now. Again, this is a best of 5 game 1. Oh, that's a little bit better. Lowered my chair a little bit, so I'm a little bit more comfortable. Ugh. QXC taking out these rocks, leading to his 3rd. And both these players just playing conservative for now, just building up their armies. 2 gases being onto the natural expansion for TriMaster. Has those 3 siege tanks on the high ground. It's going to be hard to break that. Now the question is, who's going to take a 3rd, and or who's going to set up that containment? That's oh so important right here. You can set up a nice containment where you can kind of engage into your opponent's 3rd, set up some siege tanks on the low ground, and in order to reinforce, your Terran opponent has to go across this little area, but you're covering that area with siege tanks from the low ground, so it's very difficult to reinforce a 3rd or even protect a 3rd. So that's a nice place to hold, is probably in this area. Some siege tanks about right here, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. QXC coming across to the middle of the map, but changing his mind and backing up. Stim is on the way for both these 2 players. No one going mech. Both going just biotank at this point. We see an armory being added on by QXC. +1 weapons on the way. It looks like QXC's is a little bit ahead, so we'll have to see if he can take advantage of any sort of timing that's associated with that. However, TriMaster has that +1 armor on the way for that bio. Combat Shields is about to finish for TriMaster, and QXC hasn't even started Shields. That is relatively interesting. Perhaps we'll wait for Stim to complete and then start that up. It's a relatively important upgrade. But the map is Entombed Valley. This is a very difficult map to get those cost-efficient engagements as the aggressor. The defender on most maps inherently is going to have the advantage, but on this map, I think it's exponentiated as far as, look, you have high ground. You have choke points to take control of. And you can take 3 bases really easily as long as you spread out your units and play methodically. It shouldn't be too much trouble. Now, it is a mirror matchup, so when actual engagements happen, they're like really important. You can't have bad trades in a mirror matchup. Alright, let's see here. Both these players getting a feel for each other, scanning, trying to see where they are. QXE has that watchtower control, so he's going to have that vision advantage. Doesn't have to have air control necessarily to have that vision advantage, but he has air control anyway. I think he has more Vikings than his opponent. Got to make sure I don't miss any drops. QXE chilling with the Marine over here. There's a Hellion down here too from TriMaster. Alright, let's see what happens here. QXE up in supply, 140 to 133. These guys are playing pretty darn fast. Look at that average APM. Not too shabby, but TriMaster going to try to go to the middle of the map here. We might have a big engagement. Both these players vying for contention. No siege mode going up from TriMaster. TriMaster now sieging up, standing up his Marines, but ooh, a lot of tank damage soaked up by those Marines. So I think QXE definitely got the better end of that. TriMaster was a little bit late with sieging up those tanks. TriMaster continuing to scan and trying to find out where his opponent is, slowly coming forward. Sieging up once again. Viking gets taken out, so now QXE has that air advantage that is oh so important. Could also take map control if he desperately wanted, but for the time being, TriMaster just going to back away. What's most important here is behind this, QXE is taking a third base, so his economy is going to be much better at this point in time. Meanwhile, TriMaster, his third base is just now floating over. So QXE's there's a timing here where his production is going to be absolutely off the charts compared to his opponent. Of course, making 8 Marines at a time, his opponent making 4 Marines at a time. QXE making 2 tanks at a time, his opponent making 1 tank at a time. So the question is, can QXE take advantage of the timing he has? There's a number of hurdles you have to get over. Again, we talked about the defender's advantage quite a bit. And in TVT, it's even more important because your reinforcements, they're chilling back here. They're not necessarily with your army. TriMaster setting up with a tank line here near the middle of the map. QXE going to try to swing around the left-hand side. There's a Marine here that's going to see that. The question is, how does TriMaster adjust? Looks like he's going to pull everything back. No. Oh, he thought about going towards the watchtower, but now he's going to back up. QXE coming forward, scanning, trying to see where his opponent is. He's going to come forward here with all of his tanks and the Marines, stimming him up. The tank sieging up. Oh my god, TriMaster has so many Marines, though. But QXE getting some absolute amazing tank shots off, taking down so many of those Marines. And again, this is only half of QXE's army. The other half is over here. QXE now deciding he wants to engage with that. QXE coming in from 2 different directions. He's up 154 to 123, and that's supply count. And there we go, stimming up, going straight into the national expansion. TriMaster is not sieged up. TriMaster caught completely off guard. QXE sieging up those tanks as well, and this is almost a checkmate position. How does TriMaster engage this army optimally? I'm not so sure. And QXE taking out his opponent's natural expansion, charging into the main base with those Marines. And again, QXE producing 11 Marines at a time, 3 tanks at a time behind this. And I think that should do it. QXE up 155 to 84 in that supply count. Taking down so many SCVs. Brilliant play there from QXE. Absolute brilliant play. And he's about to go up 1-0 in this best of 5. Of course, the winner of this best of 5 will qualify. And we'll get a paid trip to the WCG USA Finals, which will take place in New York City on October 14th. TriMaster could have finally cleaned that up, but QXE is coming forward with those reinforcements. 2 tanks, plenty of Marines, scanning ahead, trying to see where his opponent is. And look at all those Marines from QXE. Going to try to split those away. And there's the GG from TriMaster. So QXE going to take game number 1, and I'm going to go get a drink of water because my mouth is incredibly dry. How are you guys doing in the chat? Are you guys having a good time? I hope you guys are having a good time. I'm having a good time. So I'll be right back. Get some water, and then we'll jump into game 2. Enjoy some music. See you in a bit. Alright. I'm back. Alright, what's up everyone? How's it going? My name is Axeltoss and I'm bringing you the finals of the qualifiers for WCG USA. This is going to be a best of 5. In between spotting the top right hand location, it is TriMaster from Team Complexity. His opponent in the bottom left, it's the purple Terran player QXC, also from Team Complexity. Best of 5. Excuse me. There's something in my throat. But yes, QXC is currently up 1-0. Winner of this best of 5 will get a paid trip to New York City on October 14th, I want to say. October 14th? Is that 2 weeks from now? What's today? 3 weeks? 29th. Ooh, I have to pay rent soon. 2 weeks from now to compete in the WCG USA Finals. A lot on the line here. So glad you can join me today on Saturday, September 29th, 2012. Of course, yesterday we had I was casting the MLG Major League Gaming versus Pro League Invitational. That started on Thursday. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying that. It's been a lot of fun. Saturday is my day off from MLG, so I get to cast some WCG USA. Gonna be happier. Two pretty awesome guys too. I've met both these guys. I consider myself decent friends with at least one of them. I'm just kidding. I'm pretty good friends with TriMaster. TriMaster, of course, he's a Houston guy. Well, both of them are Houston guys now, but TriMaster, of course, he's from Texas, and I'm from Texas too. So, like, we've been involved with the Texas scene for a while. So I know TriMaster fairly well. QXC is a classy guy. I've talked to him a few times. And so I'm torn. Like, I don't really know who to root for. It's a little bit tough because it is a team kill. Only one of these guys will get that trip to New York City. Only one of these guys will. You know, TriMaster, the story, again, I said this in Game 1. He's come so close in so many tournaments. He's literally been in the final 2, like, where if he wins, he will advance to, you know, he'll get a free trip somewhere. He's been so close. TriMaster also had, actually, both these players have been to Korea at some point in their careers. I think QXC stayed there a little bit longer. I think QXC was there for a few months. No, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe they both went for 3 months. But both of these guys have been to Korea, so, you know, complexity, kudos to them, you know, getting their players out there to Korea to compete with the best. Minor engagement going on here. QXC going to get the better end of it. So 1 unit lost so far in this game. Both these players really staying heavy one base at this point in time. QXC going for medevac. So he's going to go for a medevac drop. And TriMaster's going for Cloak Banshees once again. Though he canceled. He did this last time, but he canceled Cloak last time. And yeah, like TriMaster's literally been like 1 game away from going to like a cool place to play StarCraft 2. He's literally been a good engage. He's been ahead in games. Hold that thought though. We have a Viking patrolling at the top of the map here. Where's that medevac? There it is. He's going to drop some Marines in his opponent's main base. Also going to see the progress of that Cloak research. And I don't think this is going to go too well for QXC. TriMaster holding that off incredibly well. The Viking overhead, just looking out for that medevac or potential Banshees. So QXC going to retreat for now, putting his natural expansion, putting his second command center, I should say, in his main base, just above his main orbital command, just now adding on his second gas. So that was one of those things where, all right, if it works, it works, as long as you don't lose your medevac and too much stuff for free. Units lost is completely identical. So very even game thus far. Nothing too crazy happening. Now TriMaster, did he finish that Cloak research? Yes, he did. The first Banshee is heading across the map right now, I think. And there, the Cloak going down immediately, but there's no command center there at the natural expansion. QXC does have 2 Vikings here. Does have a scan available to use if he so pleases, and he should use it right now. There it is, and that Banshee should die. But at the same time, TriMaster marching across the map here with 2 Hellions. Make that 3 Hellions and a squadron of Marines, but I think QXC has plenty enough to deal with this. He hasn't put his command center on the low ground yet, so he doesn't really have to defend that. He has it in his main base, so you can do that as Terran. So he can just defend from the high ground. And he should be just fine. QXC putting that factory down on that reactor. Going to start some more Hellion production, I would imagine. Why else would you put a factory on a reactor? This isn't Heart of the Storm where you can build those Widow Mines. TriMaster's still trying to make some stuff happen. I don't see this being incredibly successful, though. I mean, TriMaster, QXC, I should say, he has that defender's advantage. He has that high ground advantage. He's going to scan and take care of that Banshee pretty easily. So this Cloak research hasn't been paying for itself, and TriMaster going up to 2 additional command centers. TriMaster's still chilling on the low ground here outside of his opponent's main base. Again, if you're just now joining us, QXC is currently up in the series 1-0. Winner of this best of 5 gets a paid trip to New York City to compete in the WCG USA Finals. QXC going to try to break out of this, bringing the medevac over to the right-hand side. TriMaster backing up. They're going to spot this, but it's too late, and QXC is going to be able to take this army off guard. Really nice move there from QXC, and now he's up 65 to 42 in that supply. TriMaster stayed there a little bit too long, thought about backing away, but it was too little too late when he decided he wanted to. And now, let's look at that army advantage. 36 to 13 army supply advantage for QXC. Now, TriMaster is just now finishing up siege mode, which can cancel out a lot of that army advantage that QXC would have, but QXC has those medevacs. He can easily drop it in the main base. That's exactly what he's going to do, moving in 4 Hellions inside a medevac. Going to drop right on into the main base. And how does TriMaster deal with this? Tank actually getting some decent shots from the low ground. I mean, the idea behind dropping in the main base is to dodge that siege tank. And now QXC has so many units inside his opponent's main base. Still a few Marines in that medevac, going to drop those immediately. TriMaster needs to siege up this tank immediately. That's exactly what he's going to do. And QXC going to pick up those Marines and try to drop them on the tank. And, oh my god, the SCVs are going to be able to kill a lot of these Marines. So, TriMaster doing a great job holding off that aggression. Let me make sure nothing's going on in QXC's main base. Nope, nothing is. We're good. So yeah, TriMaster did a great job there. holding that off. I mean, going into that engagement, QXC had like a 20 supply advantage or 20 army advantage, army supply advantage. There it is. So yeah, good job defending there, but QXC is not done, dropping 3 more Hellions and 2 more Marines into the main base. TriMaster has a lot of SCVs that might be roasty toasted. 40 to 34 is that Harvester lead for QXC. And QXC is just going to back away for now. Again, TriMaster doing a great job there, holding it off. And, you know, TriMaster has 3 orbital commands, so he can definitely climb back into this game economically. Didn't lose too many Harvesters. Let's look at that. 7. It's not a ridiculous amount. And he's not too far behind. Again, he has those 3 orbitals, so it's 3 meals at a time, and 3 SCVs can be made at a time. So, TriMaster has, I think, the tank advantage too, which is pretty nice. 2 tanks to 0. QXC has yet to go into those tanks. Has 11 Hellions to his name. Half of them are in the middle of the map here. QXC trying to take some watchtower control, but TriMaster taking this Hellions off guard. Great job there by TriMaster. So yeah, I felt like QXC had a pretty severe advantage in the early part of this game, but just like that, I think TriMaster has equalized it. Because now his 3 orbital command economy is going to start kicking in. QXC just now putting down his 3rd command center, and I am going to take a drink of water really quick. Excuse me. Got to keep the throat muscles rejuvenated. It's like watering a plant. If you stop watering it, it will die. I do not want my throat to die, so I choose to water said throat. QXC dropping some Hellions and Marines into his opponent's main base. 2 Vikings, 2 Marauders here from TriMaster. Going to be plenty enough. So QXC continually trying to make something happen by going after the economy of his opponent. But again, these trades aren't cost efficient at all for QXC. QXC hasn't had a cost efficient trade since that engagement outside of his natural expansion. And TriMaster is slowly catching back up. Units lost actually now shows QXC is behind in units lost. So TriMaster now up 114 to 101 supply, playing a great game. But we should talk about the map a little bit more. Cool. Zadiner in the chat saying he applied for the GFX thing. You know, I told them to let me interview everyone who applied. I'm gonna make them. I really want to do that. I want to interview all the applicants. I think it'll be fun. I'm gonna make them let me do that. No one's gonna tell me no. All right, TriMaster coming to the bottom side of the map with plenty of tanks and Marauders. That's a pretty scary composition. Plenty of Vikings overhead as well. He has the ground. He has the air covered right now. TriMaster sieging up those tanks, stemming up his Marauders as well. QXC trying to get sieged up. Blue Flame Hellion has been researched for those Hellions. The Blue Flame upgrade has been researched for the Hellions. Talking is fun. And TriMaster setting up a nice little denial here. How is QXC going to take this 3rd base? Command center fleeing for its life. If that dies, that is not good news. He's going to land, so those Vikings can't do any more damage. TriMaster still has 3 tanks sieged up. Yeah, guys, feel free to apply for the root stuff. I know we have a lot of open positions. If you wanna get involved with esports, definitely consider applying. It's one of those why not things. All right, TriMaster sieging up some tanks there at the 3rd base, and I think UXC should be able to start pushing out methodically and retaking this at the same time. We have a counterattack attempting to happen there from QXC with some Blue Flame Hellions. But TriMaster is going to be too good on his defense, so that's not going to do much at all. TriMaster still has that air advantage, quite obviously. And again, QXC's going mech, so he's not going to have those Marines to shoot up. Might have to build a Thor. Uh-oh. My screen keeps blacking out on my chat. Alright. So, where do we stand? TriMaster up 153 to 124 in that supply count. Was definitely behind earlier on this game, but has amounted a nice comeback. I love this supply depot wall. Of course, QXC is going to try to do some harassment with Blue Flame Hellions, but TriMaster going to be able to prevent that with this supply depot wall. Unless Hellions get an upgrade like Reapers to jump over supply depots in the next few minutes, TriMaster should be just dandy. But But the question is, how does TriMaster take advantage of the advantage that he has? This is another map where it's very hard to engage your opponent who's on 3 bases. You have to go up a ramp, no matter what you do. You absolutely have to go up a ramp. Oh my god, TriMaster actually coming forward here with some medevac's going to try to drop on top of these tanks, but oh no, that was completely not worth it. TriMaster just dropped all of his Marines and Marauders into a death fire pit. And QXC is happy to start bringing himself back into this. He's getting his 3rd base on the ground. He's starting to build up that tank count that is oh so important in the TVT matchup. If you can get a strong tank count in TVT and keep those tanks alive and methodically push across the map, like, there's very little your opponent can do unless they do some sort of Banshee or Battlecruiser transition or nuclear missiles. Those are a couple ways. Alright, we see QXC trying to do that counterattack, as I said, with the Hellions, but these supply depots are in the way. And TriMaster going to stim back some Marauders and Marines to try to deal with that. Sending his 4th command center over to the top side of the top side expansion, I should say. And TriMaster is going to actually try to take these Hellions off guard. I like this move. QXC is essentially trapped. That's how this map architecture works. If you try to commit to the top side of the map, you only have one retreat path. TriMaster knows this, but the Hellions going to be able to sneak by. Of course, they are the most mobile units in the game. One of the most, at least. This Marauder going to get killed incredibly fast. But here we go. TriMaster's still going to try to engage this, and QXC going to take advantage of this by... Okay, well, he thought about marching to the right side of the map. Very positionally based, this matchup is, of course, especially on this map. And now TriMaster coming to that watchtower once again, trying to find a way. How can I engage my opponent? But he has bio. His opponent has mech. Mech is going to be more powerful in this situation, but with the bio, you got to take advantage of that mobility. Or just be really cost efficient with trades. Vikings versus Vikings here. I'm not sure why TriMaster is trying to engage. QXC has way too many Vikings, and all of a sudden TriMaster loses every single one of his Vikings. QXC wrapping around the right-hand side with those siege tanks and shooting. Getting a lot of nice shots onto those Marines and Marauders from TriMaster. He has to be a little bit careful. QXC has so many Hellions here, just going to try to straight up engage these tanks, and it's going to work. Uh-oh. Is this going to be... Okay, TriMaster throwing away a lot of these units here in the natural expansion of QXC. QXC at the same time going to be running to the natural expansion of his opponent, up 180 to 120 supply. TriMaster getting lower and lower in supply. QXC up 174 to 113. TriMaster was coming back in this game, but now it's not looking so good at all for him. QXC looking incredibly strong, still has a ridiculous tank count on the field. Again, QXC is up 1-0 in this best of 5. And how does TriMaster deal with this? Honestly, I'm not sure I have an answer. I'm not sure I have an answer. Maybe a Banshee, but QXC has Vikings. Now, TriMaster does a cloak, so that might help things. That might help things a little bit. We'll have to keep an eye on that, but TriMaster having to lift off that natural expansion. Trying to build back up a Marine Marauder count, but again, QXC is on a comfortable 4 bases right now. With the 80 supply lead. Let's look at that army supply, 116 to 72. So TriMaster's still with a decent amount of army. And now the Banshees are in effect. QXC has lost the air advantage. His Vikings are no longer here, so the QXC's tanks are on the run. TriMaster going to try to take these tanks off guard, and it's going to work. All these tanks going to get cleaned up by TriMaster. But at the same time, QXC able to deny this 4th base from his opponent at the top side of the map. Oh my god, so many SCVs going down as well to those Blue Flame Hellions. 4 kills and 7 kills on each of them. Banshee's finally going to get cleaned up. And QXC still has that supply lead, 168 to 85, but how can he capitalize on that supply lead? Wow, QXC just going to land his Viking Siege's tanks, but TriMaster just cleaning it up relatively easily. Has 2, actually not easily. Looks like QXC is going to come out on top of that battle. But TriMaster with decent trades there. QXC, though, up 161 to 72 supply. Income, 66 to 21. Not a lot in that units tab. Actually, yeah, it's still 10 tanks, 10 Vikings, and 18 Hellions alive here for QXC. He has those 4 bases. He is the double supply lead of his opponent. So QXC is going to march across the map here, and again, I don't see what TriMaster can do. QXC was able to outmaneuver his opponent. Had some nice defensive placement here when TriMaster tried to run in with his Marines and Marauders. It was plenty enough to deal with it, and at the same time, QXC was able to engage the naturals of his opponent, deny it, took out the 4th. And this is going to be the end. QXC is going to win this game. He's going to go up 2-0 in this best of 5 again. First to 3 wins will advance to play in the WCG USA Finals live in New York City at Comic-Con on October 14th. QXC is going to be 1 game away, 1 win away from that. Of course, the other final we're going to have is going to be Kawaii Rice versus Og. Of course, that's going to be Light versus Quantic. QXC charging into his his opponent's natural expansion, talking his fun Hellions and tanks. And there's the GG from TriMaster. So QXC going to take a 2-0 advantage. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. 1 win away from advancing to the live finals, getting that paid trip. We'll have to see if he can do it. We'll be back after a quick break. Don't go anywhere. It's going to be Game 3 between TriMaster and QXC. Alright guys, welcome back. Hope you guys are doing okay. Hope you guys are doing okay. Let's go ahead and jump into the next game here. Let's do it. Alright guys, welcome back to game number 3. This is a best of 5. This is the WCG USA qualifiers. We got 2 matches today, 2 best of 5s. The winner of each best of 5 will get a spot at the live finals of WCG USA October 14th in New York City at Comic-Con. This is game number 3. Top left-hand location, we have the blue Terran player, a TriMaster from Team Complexity. He's currently down 0-2 to his opponent. In the bottom right, it is QXC, also from Team Complexity. My name is Axeltoss. Hope you're enjoying the commentary of the series. Of course, this is only the first best of 5. We still got another one to go after this one. So no reason to go anywhere should this one conclude. Of course, if you would like, you can follow me on Twitch. Just hit that follow button on twitch.tv if you enjoy the commentary and if you want to support me. After these 2 best of 5s, I am going to probably stream some ladder. And then after that, I think we have an episode of decision making for Root Gaming. We have an episode of decision making to do, so I'll be a part of that. So pretty awesome day lined up. Hope you guys stick around. But yeah, this is gonna be game 3 of a best of 5. QXC currently up 2-0. You know, TriMaster has had those chances where he's gotten ahead. He's also had moments where he's fallen pretty severely behind. But like he was able to come back when he fell behind with some really cost-efficient trades, really methodical play, really nice play, which you can do in TVT. Which you can absolutely do in TVT. If you just position your tanks in a proper position and you're behind like 30 supply or something, it's definitely doable to make a comeback in TVT. Again, if your opponent like runs a bunch of Marines and Marauders into your siege tanks, it's not going to be fun for them. No, it's not going to be fun at all. And therein lies your opportunity to potentially come back. So we saw TriMaster slowly coming back in that last game, but QXC was able to just outmaneuver his opponent, position his units a little bit better, and he's up 2-0. QXC is 1 win away from advancing to the live finals in New York City. If he wins this game, he will get that trip. We'll have to see what happens. Got a factory on the way here from QXE after putting down that command center, so it looked like a 1-rax fast expansion type play. Getting those gases though, not delaying that too much. We'll be able to start a starport right after this factory completes. Meanwhile, TriMaster again going for the really heavy 1-base play. This is the 3rd game in a row we've seen this. You know, he's not one, apparently in TVT, not one to start off with those like 1-rax expands or those gasless expands. Always getting the barracks, factory, and starport, and then starting to get those expansions on the ground. Alright, we see TriMaster coming across the map here. 2 Marines, 3, 4, 5, 6 Marines, 2 Hellions. He's incorporating a medevac as well, so he's going to try to do some draw play into his opponent's main base. QXC does have a Marine patrolling back and forth here. QXC. Can he hold off this aggression? This is another one of those things where one player is investing a lot into his economy, another player is investing a lot into his army. We can see that there. Army supply for TriMaster is 25 to 12 to the 11 of QXC now. So QXC has to play this pretty darn well to be able to hold this aggression off. It's definitely doable though. He has that defender's advantage. And he sees this drop coming forward, so QXC coming forward. There's only 3 Hellions dropped. TriMaster trying to pick up some more Marines, but I don't know if this is going to work. There we go. The Marines are going to be dropped down now. And QXC is going to be on the run with these Marines, but they're all going to die. TriMaster now up 50 to 39 in that supply count. Targeting down, not anything in particular. Not sure about that decision. Got to be really cautious about, like, you don't get a lot of opportunities like this where you have a lot of Marines out in your opponent's main base, and he just chose to damage 2 buildings, not really maximizing, you know, what he could have done. He's gone to the natural, gone to the middle line. But hold that thought, QXC actually pulling a lot of SCVs here, and this is definitely a good move from TriMaster. Roasting away a lot of those SCVs with those Hellions and those Marines. And TriMaster's going to get out of there with 2 medevacs, going to keep 2 Hellions behind and try to go after those SCVs. There's a tank there, so that shouldn't be too much trouble. TriMaster looking desperately for those SCVs, can't find them. Going to try to target fire down that mule, but not even going to be able to kill that. So these 2 Hellions will end up getting picked up. No, that's a Viking, not a medevac. And QXC is going to be able to clean it up. Alright, so TriMaster up 51 to 33 in that supply count. Income is 31 to 20. It's good stuff. Good stuff from TriMaster here. 32 to 22 is that worker supply advantage. And of course 19 to 13 on that army supply. So yeah, TriMaster with some pretty good early game there. Was able to get a drop down. I was a little bit worried because the Hellions were kind of isolated for a little bit. It looks like TriMaster was like, uh-oh, am I sure this is a good idea? But then TriMaster was able to drop those Marines into his opponent's main base. QXC wasn't as prepared as he would have liked to be. I think what would have been a little bit better from TriMaster, if I can be a little bit critical, is remember when he had those Marines, he was like hitting a barracks and a supply depot? I would have wrapped around and killed some SCVs there. However, that was the only barracks on the field, so that could really set back your opponent as far as additional tech is concerned. And of course, that's a barracks you have to remake, but he never ended up killing the barracks, so that's a lot of waste of time just damaging it. And when you don't actually kill it, it becomes not worth it. Quick drink of water. Alright, looks like TriMaster wants to go for another medevac drop. Heading forward to the natural expansion of his opponent. There's a Viking there. He's going to spot this, and these 2 Hellions aren't going to do much at all. Just going to do some scouting at this point. And he's going to get blown to pieces. We see a tire falling off and falling next to that supply depot. Meanwhile, TriMaster's economy has been pretty much untouched. He's been left to his own devices. 0 workers killed here for QXC. 16 for TriMaster. QXC patrolling a Viking over on the right-hand side here. Adding on a reactor. We got a barracks. And QXC sending some Marines to the watch area, trying to take some map control. And the question is, what does TriMaster do for here? It's always a question we ask in TVT, to be completely honest. You get an advantage, but how do you turn an advantage into a win? Do you try to charge into your opponent's natural expansion and kill them? Do you set up another base and defend it? Do you set up a containment outside your opponent's 3rd base and prevent him from taking that while taking a 3rd of your own, and while preventing counterattacks that might try to flank along you know, the opposite side of the map that you're on? The safest thing to do, throw down some sensor towers, take a 3rd base, and just be extremely aware of what your opponent is doing and where he is. A little bit more of a risky thing to do is go attack the 3rd base of your opponent, get yours up, and just set up a containment outside of your opponent's 3rd, outside of your opponent's natural. I say that's risky because there's potential for counterattack from your opponent, and then you're opening it up to a base trade situation. The most greedy thing you can not greedy, the most risky thing you can do is just try to directly engage into your opponent's natural expansion, but then you risk losing your entire army and throwing away your lead. TriMaster looks like he's going to do something a little bit in between everything. Going to be dropping a lot of stuff in his opponent's main base. There's already a tank sieged up there. TriMaster sending up some Marines. Tanks getting sieged up here. And QXC immediately backing up to try to deal with this. But TriMaster does have so many units. Up 109 to 84 supply. QXC slowly but surely bringing some units over here. But TriMaster pulling back his Marines, trying to bait his opponent's army into his tank line. Now dropping some Marines on top of these tanks. And it looks like QXC is going to eventually hold this off, but at what cost? TriMaster's going to back away for now. 101 to 82 is that supply. Let's take tabs of things once again. Income tab relatively even. 16 to 1. And workers killed. The army supply. 52 to 37. Does he have a third? TriMaster does have a third orbital on the way. And QXC, meanwhile, does not. So TriMaster doing some nice aggression there, trying to set up his third base at the same time. And he's going to go for it again. 2 drops passing each other in the night. TriMaster going to be sieging up those tanks, and QXC knows exactly what's going on, bringing back some Vikings here. A lot of Marines getting dropped down, though. The medevac's dying incredibly fast, and now all of these Marines are trapped, and all of a sudden, look at this, QXC is mounting a comeback of sorts. TriMaster's going to lose all these Marines. Can QXC get that supply lead? He just needs to build something right now. It's not doing it. Oh, there. QXC just got that supply lead. But here's the thing. QXC doesn't have a third base. QXC just now started that third base. And TriMaster is going to get his on the ground right now. So here's the problem. Here's the problem for QXC. Sure, he got a supply lead, but TriMaster's just gonna retake it back because his economy is gonna start getting ridiculous. His production's gonna increase, and then TriMaster's just gonna pull ahead again. So TriMaster can make those even trades because he has a superior economy, has a better ability to reproduce his army, better ability to replenish, and then he can just keep attacking and keep going for those cost-efficient upgrades. QXC actually adding on a second command center here to try to catch back up economically. We have 1-1 on the field here for TriMaster's bio. QXC only has +1 weapons, 0-0 on those tanks. TriMaster the same way. 2-2 on the way for TriMaster. Looks like he might try to end this game right now, and I think he might be able to do it. Again, QXC is up 2-0. He's 1 win away from advancing to the live finals, but TriMaster's going to go for it right here with all of these Marines. The tanks sieging up, getting some nice shots onto those tanks, but it looks like QXC should barely have enough to hold this off. But TriMaster still has a ridiculous tank count on the field. Up 132 to 93 in that supply count. Let's look at the units really quick. 9-1 on the tanks. That is a huge, huge advantage for TriMaster. Huge advantage. QXC gonna finally bring that command center over here to this bottom left expansion. Gonna secure that. We got TriMaster has this very nicely saturated. Has a little bit more harvesters, and now TriMaster has decided he does not want this third going down, bringing forward all of these Marines. QXC caught a little bit off guard here. SCVs and Marines coming forward here, but TriMaster able to siege up those tanks, getting a lot of nice shots off onto those Marines and those SCVs, and TriMaster doing so much damage to every single Marine, every single SCV, and now TriMaster has a ridiculous supply lead, 127 to 56. Army supply 71 to 36, so doubling in army supply. And now TriMaster bringing forward those reinforcements. How does QXC answer this force from TriMaster? I don't think he can. I think this might be a GG moment incoming. 137 to 50 is that supply count. QXC trying to set up some tanks in between his natural and his third base. TriMaster continuing to scan, trying to see what his opponent has. TriMaster slowly leapfrogging those tanks. More forward. Not a lot of medevacs here. Actually, no medevacs here. No medevacs here for TriMaster. Still able to get a lot of damage done, though. And now, TriMaster advancing to his opponent's natural expansion with a squadron of Marines and tanks. And how is QXC going to answer this? I don't think it can be done. And there is the GG from QXC. So, TriMaster is going to take game number 3. He's not out of it just yet. Of course, this is a best of 5. QXC currently up 2-1 in this series. It is a best of 5. Say hello in the chat. How are you guys doing today? We're going to be back after a quick break with Game 4 between TriMaster and QXE. Again, winner of this best of 5 advances to the live finals of WCG USA in New York City on October 14th. Don't go anywhere. All right, guys, welcome back. Welcome to the WCG USA North American Qualifier Finals. Or USA, I should say. USA Qualifier Finals. This is a best of 5 in between spawning at the bottom left-hand location of Antiga Shipyard, the Purple Terran player QXE from Team Complexity. His opponent also from Team Complexity, it's TriMaster. In the top right-hand location, he is blue. Emic Hailmed in the chat is asking, what match is next, or are they done? And I will answer you, good sir. The next match is going to be Og from Team Quantic Gaming versus Kawaii Rice from Team Light. Winner of this best of 5 advances to the live finals of WCG USA, which will be in New York City on October 14th. The winner of the next best of 5 as well, between Og and Kawaii Rice, will advance to the live finals to represent the USA. Or to try to represent the USA. New York City, October 14th. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you guys for joining me. If you enjoyed the commentary, feel free to follow me on twitch.tv. Just hit that follow button and you'll get notified when my stream goes live. Also, you can follow me on Twitter. I'm sure one of my scholarly mods will link my Twitter. Also, fun fact, if you're one of those guys who has to have mod, you gotta work for it. But most of the mods on my chat got their mod because they would periodically link my Twitter, link all my social media stuff periodically. I reward those who do good things. Anyway, enough about that and more about this game. This is a best of 5. This is game number 4. QXC is currently up 2-1. If QXC can win this game, he will advance to the live finals in New York City. TriMaster, the story behind him is he's one of those guys who it feels like he's always so close to qualifying for these things. He's one game away, one good engagement away. He has a lead in a game, has a phenomenal lead, is about to qualify to go to an awesome place for StarCraft 2, but ends up falling. This has happened plenty of times in the past to him. I've actually casted them. So we'll see what happens here. TriMaster has to win 2 games in a row against his teammate, QXC. Both these guys are probably in the complexity house as we speak, practicing away, tapping on their keyboards. So we'll have to see what happens here. Again, QXC just one away, going to be opening up with a very fast command center. Meanwhile, TriMaster again sticking to that heavy one base play, adding on a medevac, Marines, and Hellions. This is like an identical build we've seen from him. Last game we saw, this game we saw. The first 2 games we saw him go for Cloaked Banshees. And now TriMaster's gonna start lifting up and trying to drop his opponent's drop in his opponent's main base. He's got some smoke here, but QXC is gonna have a Marine there, so he's gonna be able to identify that this is coming. And now QXC knows exactly what's going on. Let's see how much damage TriMaster can do. Dropping actually really nice microing back his weakened Hellion to put it back into his medevac. Look at that, keeping those Hellions alive for quite a long time. TriMaster playing this very cost efficiently, and all of a sudden QXC he's kind of out of army. It's 11 army supply to 24. QXC forced to pull a lot of SCVs trying to repair his Hellions, but TriMaster doing so much damage at this point in time. Hellions trying to microwave, but the Marines eventually going to get surrounded. Hellion from the low ground, though, from TriMaster doing a decent amount, or trying to get into the action. And now TriMaster has 2 medevacs here. He's going to add on his command center. Gonna back up to the watchtower and reload up. Meanwhile, QXC really trying to bump up that production and lost that reactor on the barracks. He's gonna have to rebuild that. Building a tech lab on the factory. No add-ons anywhere for him right now. TriMaster trying to decide what he wants to do. Looks like he wants to go for another drop here, but at this point it could be a little bit risky because QXC knows exactly the potential that TriMaster has for drop. He saw those 2 medevacs, so it's like he definitely knows there's a possibility of drop play. That's why he has his Viking patrolling, but TriMaster going to find a hole in his opponent's defense. He's going to try to drop all of these Hellions and these Marines. Targeting down that Viking, that's going to be successful. And once again, TriMaster is inside his opponent's main base, and there's not much answer at all. A few Marines, there's a landed Viking. SCV is going to be forced to engage here. TriMaster just has to micro relatively optimally, and he should be fine. SCVs might have to try to engage here. 3 Hellions going to be shooting down on those SCVs, and they're going to be, oh my gosh. QXC is going to lose so many SCVs here. This is not good at all for him. And TriMaster all of a sudden looking like he's going to tie this series because he has a 49-24 supply lead right now. And there's the GG. QXC, a very short game number 4. TriMaster going to even up the series 2-2. Not too bad at all. Showing he's not going down without a fight. Keep in mind, QXC started out up 2-0. Up 2-0 in this series. QXC started up 2-0. Now TriMaster winning 2 in a row. Going to push it to an ace match. Going to push it to game number 5. The winner of this next game will advance to the live finals in New York City, and a lot on the line for both of these 2 guys. And that's coming up after a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with TriMaster versus QXC game 5. Winner goes to New York.
Gotta start the day off right. Wardrobe. Cute. Then, new Activia Breakfast Blend. A great way to help start the day. Creamy, low-fat yogurt with grains in yummy breakfast flavors like apple cinnamon. It's hearty with twice the protein of regular low-fat yogurt. And it helps regulate your digestive system. Our morning routines are important, aren't they? New Activia Breakfast Blend.
Alright guys, welcome back. How's it going? Hope you guys are having a good time. I'm having a good time because I'm casting the WCG USA Qualifier Finals. The winner of this game will go to New York. Pretty intense stuff here. Of course, in the top right-hand location, we have the purple Terran player QXE from Team Complexity. His opponent in the bottom left, it's the blue Terran player TriMaster, also from Team Complexity. These players are tied 2-2 in this best of 5. QXE started up 2-0. TriMaster able to bring it back and tie it up 2-2. To bring it to an ace match. Best of 5, 2-2. This is it. This is game 5. Winner goes to New York to represent, or to participate, I should say, in the WCG USA Finals at Comic-Con on October 14th. That Saturday and or Sunday. I don't know if it's both. The venue for that is actually about, I'm not sure how far away from where I am right now, actually. It's on the west side of Manhattan. I'm on like the middle, I'm like the lower east side, I think. I don't know. I don't know geography. Alright. So what's going to happen here? What is going to happen? The map is going to be Daybreak. It is a Terran versus Terran. Should be interesting. We saw QX. Both these players have kind of been focusing on the bio-tank play. But like the last 2 games have really come down to TriMaster's ability to be really scary with his early aggression as far as the medevac play, Hellion Marine drop play. What was that sound? I heard a sound. Oh well, we're fine. So yeah, I think the story here might be QXC might play a little bit more safe, just to make sure he's prepared for any sort of one-base heavy aggression TriMaster ends up doing. And we do see deviation. QXC in game 3 and 4 took really fast expansions, but here he's going up to that factory. TriMaster able to scout that out though with his SCV. Look at his vision really quick. Oh, this is going to be tricky because I only have control. Oh, I can do this, and then I can go like this. One hand is dedicated to holding my microphone because the stand broke, which is kind of upsetting, but the sacrifices have to be made. So yeah, QXC doing a going into pretty heavy one base play. Hasn't taken a second gas yet though, so still, you know, saving up some money for that expansion. Meanwhile, TriMaster doing a similar thing. Barracks, factory starport, 1-1-1, but again, no second gas for both these guys. So that tells us they're a little bit economic minded. A little bit economic minded. Reading the chat. What's up, guys? Andrew Thompson. How's it going? E. Michael ND. Alright, so both these players doing really identical builds to each other. Both going for the Hellions and the Marines at this point in time. The question is, does TriMaster mix in a medevac again? We see QXC immediately going for that Viking. You know, he's aware of his opponent loving to go for that early drop play. It's like, alright, I'm just going to get an early Viking out, and that helps tremendously against those medevacs. So yeah, QXC just playing a little bit more safe. Really wants to push it to the later game. So staying on one base a little bit longer, feeling out his opponent, staying on one base a little bit longer, getting his expansion a little bit later. You know, not sacrificing too much of anything. Of course, if you go for the faster expansion, your army is going to be a lot less, which we saw TriMaster exploit in the last 2 games. So QXC just getting that core composition on the field before taking that expansion. TriMaster, meanwhile, might try the same thing as last game, but I don't know if I think this is a good idea, considering he's just completely revealing that medevac. So now QXC knows exactly what's going on. Oh, that's a pretty big blunder from TriMaster. You don't ever want to reveal that medevac. And QXC has this Viking up here, so if... Excuse me for the camera movement there. But if TriMaster tries to pick up a medevac, do a drop, it's not going to be successful. It's not. But TriMaster's going to go for it anyway. QXC should be swinging in with that Viking. Ooh, he actually landed the Viking. Interesting decision. But let's look at army supply. That should be interesting. Oh, TriMaster's still a bit ahead in that. Oh, because TriMaster hasn't put down his expansion yet. So he really has a lot more units. But again, all of his units have to run all the way across the field. 2 Vikings in the air here for QXC. TriMaster really investing a lot into this aggression. Medevac gets taken out. Oops. Vikings going to land. QXC has that high ground advantage. TriMaster still has a decent concave in the low ground here. But QXC bringing forward more Marines, more Hellions, and he should be able to, QXC should, clean this up without too much trouble. However, nice positioning here from TriMaster at the bottom of the ramp, but it's not going to be enough. QXC has too much. A little bit surprising TriMaster didn't try to land that Viking, considering it's not doing too much in the air. Ooh, TriMaster should repair, or QXC should repair those Vikings with SCVs. He should do that. That'd be so good right now. Not sure why he's not. So TriMaster trying to make it happen, but he still doesn't have an expansion on the field. His opponent does. Pretty important match, guys. This is really a tense situation, and TriMaster going to try to march up this ramp here. Looks like QXC finally decided to repair. One Viking getting immediately targeted down. And QXC is going to be able to deal with this fine, so TriMaster is going to back away. But the question is, what ability to transition does he have? He is down on harvesters, only at 26 harvesters, so really investing a lot into early aggression, but it looks like he wants to take that expansion right now. Alright. TriMaster trying to do some scouting with this Viking. QXC going to come back and try to take that down. TriMaster does have to be careful with that. Doesn't want to lose that for free. Vikings in hot pursuit, but TriMaster should be able to get away. At the same time, TriMaster going to try to engage at the front door. QXC going to back up his ramp here, and that's still a lot of Hellions and Marines on the field here from TriMaster. And TriMaster getting up into his opponent's main base, actually doing a lot of damage to QXC. QXC slowly but surely running out of units, landing 2 Vikings to try to help, but that's a lot of Marines, Hellions, and a lone Viking there. Does QXC have enough to deal with this? He does have a tank on the way, but 3 Hellions versus all these SCVs. QXC is in so much trouble here. Most of that supply is in SCVs, and now they're starting to line up to these Hellions. And TriMaster doing so much damage, but finally the tank is on the field, and that's going to be the game changer, providing QXC can start repairing it. Doesn't want to lose that to those two Marines. Repair the tank, repair the tank, repair the tank, repair the tank! QXC, no! And here comes some more Hellions from TriMaster. That tank was so instrumental here. And now TriMaster coming back with 3 more Hellions. And QXC throwing the GG, so TriMaster is going to do it. TriMaster qualifies for the live finals in New York City for WCG USA. Congratulations to TriMaster. He takes down QXC in the first best of 5. Couple blunders there. That I feel like QXC could have won that for sure. Those 2 Vikings, repair those. That tank at the end, repair that. But it felt like QXC kept trying to transition, but TriMaster just kept going on with that aggression and is able to take game number 5. So congratulations to TriMaster. He will be a qualifier for the live finals in New York City. Coming up next, we have the second best of 5. It's going to be Kawaii Rice versus Ag. Quantic Gaming versus Team Light. Dunk winner will be back with that after a quick break. Alright guys, welcome back. That wasn't too long of a break, was it? I hope it wasn't. That was about 2 minutes. It's not too bad. But here we go. Let me change the screen so y'all can see what I see. This is going to be the second best of 5. The second best of 5 of the day. For those of you just now joining us, these are the finals of the qualifiers for WCG USA. WCG USA. The winner of these 2 best of 5s qualify for the live finals in New York City at Comic-Con on October 14th. I hope that date's right, because I've been saying that a lot, and if it's wrong, I will feel foolish. It's that Saturday, Sunday. I'm pretty sure that's correct. First best of 5, we saw QXE go up 2-0. Looked like he was going to take it. He looked very strong. But then his opponent was able to bring it back, tie it up 2-2, and take the win. And TriMaster will get a paid trip to New York City. So TriMaster did take out QXE 3-2. And he is your first representative there. So, and of course, this is the second best of 5 in the top right-hand location of the yellow Terran player, Kawaii, from Team Light. His opponent in the bottom left, it is Quantic AGH, or AG, or AG, however you want to say it. I'll probably say whatever I feel like at the time. But yeah, it's going to be a PvT on Daybreak. And a little bit about these 2 players. Kawaii Rice is one of those players who's very solid, very macro-oriented. He's pretty much always in he's a heavy online player. He's also in the MLG versus Pro League Invitational, but he has a lot of online results. Really plays in a lot of online tournaments, and he's one of the better North American Terrans. He's definitely one of the better American Terrans at the very least. And most of the the WCG, ESWC, any of those qualifiers, he'll always be near the end of those. Very strong Terran player, of course. AGH. A little bit about him. He is on Quantic Gaming, Protoss player. Pretty solid. Very, very solid player. He's one of those players I think who's kind of on the edge of being really good, but just hasn't been able to make anything happen. He always gets to like round 6 or 7 of like the losers bracket of MLGs, but hasn't really been able to make that jump into where he can get into like group play and stuff. But he's always like 1 or 2 rounds away from that, like top 40-ish of MLGs. And of course, as more and more Koreans start participating in MLGs, it's going to get significantly more difficult. But hold on, what's going on here? We have a factory floating over here to the left-hand side, or actually the top middle. Now, Quantic AG is sending, we got a Zealot and a Stalker coming forward. A little pressure here. There's no bunker here from Kawaii Rice, but he also doesn't have an expansion that is natural. Let's see what AG can figure out. Actually, he's going to try to engage these Marines here. Going to back away. And that's all he sees. 2 supply depots and a barracks. Ian Shakina talking about how he's going to post a video where Og pranked another guy. I remember that. What MLG was that? Ooh, was that a Hellion? I think a Hellion tried to... Okay, so Og, what he did was Theognis was sleeping, and Josh, who's Og, tied his shoes together. So Theognis, when he got up, he completely fell on his face. It was pretty funny. There is a video recording out there. But yeah, Kawaii Rice, he's sneaking in some Hellions here. He's trying to be really fancy. But he already sent 1 by. And the thing is, Og has done a 1 gate fast expand. And this is pretty difficult to defend against Hellion aggression with. You have a lot of stuff you have to worry about. And you don't necessarily have a lot of units out on the field to defend. Oh no, misclick on the probes. That's such a big deal. It's a lot of lost mining time. That hurts. That hurt me. But Og getting the faster expansion. The question is how much damage. Oh my god, that Stalker almost scouted those Hellions. Who sleeps with his shoes on? It was like in the lobby of a hotel. Like he passed out. He was like taking a nap. You know, one of those things where you're really tired and you're sitting on a chair and you're just slouching over and just resting or whatever. It wasn't like literally he was in his bed. No, it was in the lobby of a hotel room. Anyway, the Hellions coming forward here from Kawhi Rice, taking that one probe ad, completely evacuating. Oh, force field in the bottom. Great play there from Og. That was so cool. So Kawhi Rice was trying to run into the main base. Og predicted that he was going to do that, so he positioned his stalkers at the top. Once the Hellions came up, he force fielded behind to trap him in place. I love it. Such cool play. Such cool play. So yeah, Og, you know, preventing those Hellions from doing too much damage, denying mining time a little bit, but more importantly, not losing too many probes. Only one worker killed from both of these two players. Kawhi Rice, meanwhile, what is he up to? We got 3 barracks, starport, and a factory going into bio. Looks like it's going to be bio medevac play. Tacking on that +1, and Og sees absolutely everything that's going on with that observer in his opponent's main base. Sees 2 additional barracks being added on, which means it's going to be late at third, which means Kawhi Rice is going to have more potential to do early aggression here with a lot of bio surplus. And Og here, I should say, taking that fast third base and starting the charge upgrade out of his Twilight Council, also adding on a forge. So 3 gates on the field here for Og. He's approaching 2 base full saturation, so we should see some additional gateways being added on fairly soon, I would imagine. Unless I'm terrible at this game. But that should come up pretty soon. There it is. 1, 2. I would add whatever amount he puts up, so I sound smart. No, I would probably add 3 or 4, honestly. If you're going for charge, you're going to want to be making a lot of zealots, so you need more gateways to do that. And a transition that's more likely is Templar play. But we'll see what happens here. Kawhi Rice has so many Marines marching across the field here. Not sure what they're looking for. Oh, just waiting for these medevacs. And does Og know this is coming? He doesn't have any stalkers in position here to deal with this. We have a Templar guys on the way. +1 armor. Charge about to complete. And here comes these medevacs. They're full of Marines. These Marines have stim. +1 is about to finish, and Og might be in a lot of trouble here. This is something you really want to identify as soon as it comes in. You just don't want to let him drop. Just don't let him drop the Marines. And now 3 Zealots are going to die essentially for free. Might get a Zealot kill. Og going to try to pull him back. Realizes he doesn't have enough to deal with this. These gateways just now finishing, but only 1 is powered. At the same time, we do have a Hellion trying to take down a pylon. That's not going to work. And Kawhi Rice is just going to send more and more units across the field. I actually just keep a few Stalkers in his main base to deal with those medevacs. And then with the rest of his army, bring to his natural expansion or his third base to deal with this army that's swinging around. Og looks like he's going to pull all of his units back, which I don't necessarily agree with, because now Kawhi Rice is going to have an opening to do damage with these medevacs at the same time. Marines stepping forward to this third base. I'm going to try to target fire down that Nexus, and I'm a little bit surprised he's not bringing those medevacs in. Okay, now he's going to... Og should realize that that army is pretty small, and now Kawhi Rice is going to drop in the main base. So many probes going to fall here. Og immediately going to back away. Warpism on the way. Where are the High Templar? Feedback wouldn't be a terrible thing to use here. At the same time, we have Stalkers and Zealots going to be trying to engage this army from Kawhi Rice, but he's just going to run away. And oh my god, Og is going to lose this Nexus in his main. That is no fun, and he's going to lose all this tech. Oh boy. His entire army is in the middle of the map. This is not looking good at all for Og. Kawhi Rice playing this incredibly well. Drew his opponent's army away by attacking into that third base, while at the same time dropping in his opponent's main. And he's going to pick up and he's going to get out of here. Those are the most cost-efficient Marines in the world. They took down the Nexus. They took down probes. They took down a Robo. Pylons. Look at that units lost. That is never a sight you want to see. Ever. It's 3,000 to 800 in favor of Kawhi Rice. And now, what is going to happen here? Kawhi Rice is just going to take this third, play this methodically. Sure, Og has the space, but again, he lost the main. He's going to have to remake that. Incantab is relatively similar, but again, Og is forced to remake lots of stuff. 16 workers killed for Kawhi Rice. Nice little scan there from Kawhi Rice identifying where that observer is, taking that out. And now he's going to have a ridiculous army. He knows his opponent is probably going to be investing a lot into his economy, a lot into rebuilding tech. So there's a pretty big window here for Kawhi Rice to be able to do damage. It's like when you lose a Greatest Spire or something in ZVP. You're losing important tech that you have to rebuild, which means your opponent has a timing to utilize that. To take advantage of the fact that you have to rebuild all that tech and rebuild all that army. So now Kawhi Rice marching across the field here. Marines, Marauders, and Medevacs. There's no units with a lot of area of effect damage as far as High Templars and Colossi. None are in existence here. And now Kawhi Rice is going to engage into his opponent's third base. He does have 1/1 upgrades. Og only has +1 armor. He's going to snipe that Nexus, and he's going to leave. Marking away from these charge lots, and Kawhi Rice just has so much. He can just straight up engage this army. No big deal whatsoever, and that's exactly what he's going to do. And there's the GG from Og. So Kawhi Rice going to take game number 1 in this best of 5. Again, the winner will advance to the live finals in New York City on October 15th. October 14th. I'm going to keep screwing that up. Of course, if you missed the first best of 5, QXC lost to TriMaster. TriMaster took that down 3-2, but don't go anywhere. Coming up, we're going to have game 2 between Og and Kawhi Rice. WCG USA qualifiers. Don't go anywhere.